And then I will, as I have every week, share the recording after class too. And I do invite you to continue to do these practices and you don't have to do all of it through every day, but notice what it does for you. Movement is medicine, according to yoga. And I do agree, it has healed me through quite a few things. And so with that said, let's get started. I invite you to have a block nearby today. And then as we begin, we talked about already at the first class, notice, is your chair at the right height for you? Is it too high, meaning that your feet kind of dangle? Then slide something underneath, whether that's a blanket or a towel, an agreeable animal, so that you can get your feet firmly planted on the ground. And then sitting. So you feel your sits bones evenly from side to side. And if you rock your sits bones a little bit forward and a little bit back, you may notice that you are sitting either far back on them with the more collapsed posture, or maybe you're really up in the very front of them. So can you come to sit right at the center and then jiggle a little bit from side to side and get even pressure on the sits bones. And for gentlemen, what is sometimes observed is a habit of carrying a wallet in the back pocket. And you're basically giving yourself scoliosis just by doing that, because now one cheek sits a little higher. So it's often these little habits that are repeated over and over that really creates a big change, and not always in a beneficial way. If it feels better for you right now to lean back and use the back of the chair, I invite you to do that. And if it's available to sit without, I invite you to do that. Let's place a hand on the lower abdomen. And that's just our invitation to breathe into the lower belly. Diaphragmatic breathing. When the belly expands on the in-breath, then we know the diaphragm is contracting. It sits like this dome, this umbrella shape up under the ribs. And if we don't use the diaphragm to breathe, we are using our neck muscles too much. And if you're not sure, you can take one hand and place it on your upper chest. And as you breathe in and out, is your chest hand moving? And can you invite that into stillness so only your belly hand moves? When we breathe with the diaphragm, everything in the body gets a little tug and a pull. It helps our organs function optimally. Your entire abdominal content right now below the diaphragm is getting a massage, and it helps them, again, move and function better. Your lungs are being stretched downward, facilitating better oxygen intake. And your heart goes for a little walk. It speeds up a little bit on the way down and slows down on the way up. It's called heart rate variability. And the measure of this is our overall health. As you breathe in and out, I also invite you just to go for a little mental walk around your inner landscape. What's going on in there today? Physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally. There's a lot of inhabitants in this village that we call home. And Rumi, the Sufi poet, says, greet them at the door and welcome them all, which some days is a real tall order. Now releasing your hands down to your legs, and we'll start just a little bit more of the arch and flatten. So as you inhale, let the muscles on the back body draw the spine in. And as you exhale, let that release. We'll do that again, very gently. Inhale, arch. You feel the whole front body elongating. And exhale, release back. Do that one more time. Inhale, arch. Broadening the chest, lengthen the front seam, maybe stretch the chin up a little bit. And exhale, releasing back. And we'll go the opposite direction. Take a breath in for nothing, and then exhale. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Let the chin relax down towards the chest. And then inhaling, we release back to neutral. We'll do that again. A breath in for nothing, and as you exhale, contract the belly button towards the spine. And then letting the chin relax down towards the chest. And we'll release back up again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale for nothing. And exhale, contract. So we're moving into the slump posture, but we're going a little bit further consciously than we might otherwise do. And then we release the tension. We release back to neutral these muscles that may have just gotten used to be held in a contracted state. We'll take the arms down. And we'll visit with these other muscles that habitually get super tight. The upper trapezius, I call them the headache muscles. So draw the elbows, the shoulders up towards the ears and kind of behind the ears so your chin gets a little jutty. And then we'll count these down from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. Allowing the fibers of the muscle to release. Let's do that one more time. Draw the shoulders up, almost as is comfortable for your body. So right now we are also stretching the upper part of the lungs. And we'll release down from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. We'll take the hands back to the legs. And we'll just do a couple heel bounces. Just getting vibrations in to the body. Easy bouncing. Everything in here is shaking along with me. And then the front of the feet. Flat, 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 flat. The heels are staying down. My little flippers. And then alternating. Helping moving lymph. The lymph system depends on movement. If we are very sedentary, the body can't circulate the lymph fluid because it doesn't have a pump like the blood does. It needs muscular contraction to flow and move. Okay, let's tap it again. And then we'll visit with a friend, Baxter. When I call him a friend, he is a friend. He comes to Greensboro once in a while. He is a yoga teacher and he's also a medical doctor. And he has studied yoga and aging, and had published a book last year on the topic. And he agrees, movement, we need movement. We'll take the arms down alongside the body. And let's inhale and take the arms out and up as high as is comfortable for your body. Exhale, we're gonna hug the right knee up towards the chest. And we're gonna take the leg out to the side. And we're gonna give the knee to the other hand and twist, however far is comfortable. We come back to center and we'll clasp the hands behind the thigh and press out through the heel. And exhale, hug the knee back in and release down. We'll do that again. Inhale, take the arms out and up. And exhale, hug the left knee in. We'll take that to the side and across. We are back at center. Interlace the hands and press out through the heel. And exhale, hug the knee in and release. Let's repeat. Inhaling, take the arms out and up. And exhale, right leg again. To the side. And across. Back at center. Press out through the heel. Hug the knee in. And inhale. Maybe take the arms all the way up again. And exhale down. Last time on the other side, take the arms out and up. And we'll hug the left leg in. To the side. Across, a little twist if it's available. We take the hands behind, pressing out through the heel. And hugging the knee in. And again, maybe take the arms out and up. And down and pause. Breathing in and out. So I love the protocol release, realign, and then strengthen. We can't strengthen what is misaligned. That's going to likely lead to more discomfort and dis-ease. And so we start with these warm-up. This sequence you can do laying down as well. I'll attach it. When I send out this email, I have a YouTube just for it as supine. But seated does the same thing a lot for the hip flexors. When the hips are not moving well, the spine gets locked up and the knees suffer terribly. So leaning back in your chair, and we're going to play a little bit more with the hip circle. So I'm just going to sit tall still. Then take the right knee up. And I'm going to draw circles. This is a ball and socket joint. So I want to maintain mobility of this massive piece of equipment so that my spine can be a little bit more at ease. And let's see how that feels on the other side. Around and around we go. And we'll take that foot down. We'll take the right up again. Let's go in the other direction, opposite. I think I'm going opposite. And we'll take that down and let's repeat that also on the other side. Hips have amazing range of motion. At least in theory, right? So here we're just putting some WD-40 into the joint capsule. We'll take that down, come forward onto the chair, and we'll walk the feet wide. So seated, squat, malasana. Take the hands to the inside of the knees, and then inhale. Lift up through the front bar. So take your knees as wide as you can. And just check that your knees are tracking out over your second toe, that your feet didn't travel further or not quite as far as your feet. We inhale, we lift up. Here's our back bend again. And then exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lifting up again. And exhale, rounding the spine. One more time, sitting up tall. And then this time we're going to keep the right hand to the inside of the right knee. We're going to take the left arm out to the side. So the right arm is here to make sure that the left arm, the left knee, the right knee, I'll get it straight. I'm mirroring everything. That's why sometimes it comes out a little bit crazy. And we'll take the arm out as high as it's comfortable. Side bending, and we'll come back to center. And we'll side bend again. And back at center. And this time we'll stay to the side, staying to the side. So lengthening out through the fingertips. You can wiggle the fingers. You can't really see my fingers. Lengthening. Feel the whole side body opening up. And inhaling back to center. And we'll switch that out. Left hand inside left knee. I think I got it right. And then right arm out to the side. And then again, wave it. And back. And waving. And back. So reaching over the side that is bent, where you have the hand on the knee. So we're staying now, staying on the side. Again, you can wiggle. Jane, go to the other side. You're reaching over to your right side. There you go. And inhaling. And back at center. Taking the hands to your knees. And then bow forward. You may feel this in your inner groins a little bit. We don't do a lot of activities where we have the knees this wide, inhaling up. And leaning forward again, pressing the feet down, keeping the knees wide. And coming up again. When we don't use a joint, that joint literally begins to dry out. It looks like a gasket on these old soda bottles, if you see them, where they're all dried up and kind of fragile. So we need to put some synovial fluid into these joint capsules, which the brain does when we're moving the joints. That's the DW40 that we're applying here. Now, as you lean forward, take the arms to the inside of the knees again. And then press the knees into the arms, arms into the knees. Press the arms into the knees, knees into your arms. So nothing is moving. This is an isometric. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. And inhale, slowly come all the way up. And we'll toe heel. Back in again, back to center. So release, realign, and then strengthen, which is where we are. Sarcopenia is muscle loss, which affects, again, everything in the body. So everything matters. So we can strengthen our body parts without having to go to a gym and grunt a whole lot. Let's visit with this midsection here. We'll take the arms out in front. Keep the spine long. And then as you exhale, leaning back with a long spine, just boat pose, and you feel the lower abdomen drawing in and up. And we sit back up tall again. And we lean back. And this time we can take the right leg out long. So that adds a little bit more of a lever. And we sit back up. And the left. Leaning back, and you feel the lower abdomen contracting. And we sit forward. Let's do that again on the right side. Leaning back. Breathing. So we hold the poses, but we don't hold the breath. Never. And coming forward, maybe leaning forward a little bit further. coming back, holding it for breath if it is available. And coming forward. And one more time. Leaning back, holding. Last time. Isn't it nice to be able to check off core? Done. And we sit back up to neutral and take the arms down. And we'll take the block and place it between the thighs. So this is just to help with the knee joint, because this joint can get really chatty. Now you can use a ball, you can use a book, you can use a towel, just something where you can place the feet about hip width apart. So this just helps with alignment of the knees, because they get in trouble if my feet are wide and then I stand up and they bang together. So I want to train them to maintain the alignment of the center of the knee, tracking over the second toe. I'll bring my heels back as far as is comfortable. And I'll take my arms forward again. And then lean forward, the long spine. Press the feet down. You're going to feel maybe a little lift of the tush, and we sit back. Let's take a breath in and out. And we come forward again. Press the feet down. Maybe there's a little lift off. And we sit back down again. So I already said the diaphragm, probably the most important muscle in your body, where your quads are close seconds. Maybe up a little taller, squeeze the block, squeeze the ball. And we sit back down again. The strength of our quads and our overall condition strongly correlates. So just doing these every day. How many should you do, you ask? 20 is a nice round number. And maybe you begin to come up and standing up taller. If you are 70, I think I have the number right, you should be able to do 15 in 30 seconds. And for every decade, you either add if you go down or subtract if you go up. And so that's just a nice way to help strengthen and get easy mobility in. And we stand, take the arms down. Let the weight come into the heels. Grounding the back seam of the body, so the shoulders draw down, tailbone draws down, heel grounds. And the front seam lengthens up. Remember, the eyes always wants to be at the horizon. So we are collapsing the front body. That means that the back of the neck will contract. So countering this just by how we stand. Let the shoulders be heavy and back and down. And we'll take the block out and we'll move behind the chair. So I'll turn the chair a little kitty corner here so you can see what I am doing. So as always, I invite you to use the chair. Everybody has different balance abilities. So the standing poses, maybe you start with a light touch of the chair and then maybe you play with one hand off or both. So I want to stand so I can use the chair kind of, I'm standing at a lectern. So not collapsing onto the chair, but helping me and gain a lift upward, grounding the heels. And then lifting the heels up. And lower the heels. Shift back and lift the foot up This is where I think it's really nice to hold on to the chair. I come forward again and I lift the heels. So I go back and forth. Playing with balance, but also you can feel the muscles of your lower leg, front and back, is really supporting you. Now this is a nice little snack. You're waiting for the coffee to run through. You're on the phone. You can check off a little yoga. This is how I like to practice. A little here, a little there. Now next time after the lifting of the front of the foot, slowly take the toes down. And we stand again in mountain pose. Maybe one hand down, maybe both if it feels safe. Tadasana, it is a pose with muscular actions. The grounding of the heels, the gentle lift of the lower abdomen draws in and upward. Rolling the shoulders up and down the back. Some teachers will say this is the most challenging of all of the yoga poses. Mostly because the mind, off it goes. But notice how firm your legs are here. When the legs are firm, everything above the hips, you can relax a little bit. But when the legs are not grounded, then the spine, the shoulders, and the neck have to do the work. And they can't. Let's take the hands back to the chair again. And we'll step the feet as wide as is comfortable for you. As wide as is comfortable. So again, feel comfortable and feel that you're not going to tumble over. But at the same time, don't be bashful. You're going to turn the right leg out. So lift the front of the foot first and then pivot the whole foot out to the side. Pivot the whole foot out to the side. And just check that the knee followed. So we did all of that lubrication of the hip joint earlier to facilitate this. And then bend the right knee and straighten it. Bend and straighten. And as you bend and straighten, if your knee is overshooting your ankle, maybe creep the toes out a little bit further. The knee becomes a very unstable joint when it travels past the ankle. So going back and forth. And then next time you come forward, stay. Keep the knee bent. Grounding down through the four corners of each foot. And to really get into the legs, we can lift and spread the toes. Lift and spread the toes. Stretch them out and away from the foot and then take them down. And if it feels safe, take your left hand back. Take the left hand back. Reaching it back. So it's going opposite of your right knee. We're creating this two-way pull. But the body is staying right at center. Right at center. And slowly straighten the leg. Take the arm down. Parallel feet. And then let's lift the left toes up. Pivot the left foot out. And it's okay if the right hip wants to follow around. Don't try to force it. And so again, wide stance. And I'm going to go to the left side. Just bending and straightening my left knee. And I'm going to check too, because knees are sneaky, that it doesn't travel past my left ankle. So going back and forth. I'll turn the angle here. Back and forth. And again, making sure that I'm not taking the knee over. I'll keep the knee bent, and I can feel the muscles around my right hip, the straight leg, is really working, creating stability. Gluteus medius in particular. is helping out, but my psoas, that back pain muscle, is getting a nice stretch. I can take the right arm back if it feels safe. Grounding, firm legs, muscle wrapping around bone. Breathing in and out. And if it feels okay, turn the head and look over to the left. We'll take one more breath. And slowly straighten. Take the arm back to the chair. And I'm going to kick the heels in and have the toes pointing out. Kind of like Charlie Chaplin feet. And then I'll bend the knees down into my squat and straightening. And bending the knees and straighten. A little plie, but be mindful, right? Rome wasn't conquered in one day or built in one day. I forget which one it was. Next time you're down, stay and just look. Are the knees pointing out over the toes? Or did your toes travel out further than the knees? I'm like, well, I'm going to adjust my feet inward a little bit. Remember, the knee is a hinge joint. So it likes a clean hinge. And breathe. One more breath. Squeeze the muscles of the legs. And standing up. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. All the way in. We're back in mountain pose. We just increase circulation to our legs, to every cell in the legs. Leaning now onto your right foot. And take the left leg out to the side. So I still got my left toes down. Take my right arm out to the side. So a gentle balance pose. I can lift the left leg up higher and lower. Lifting and lower. It's nice to have something to hold on to here. Countertops are really good too. Next time you lift, how high you lift, that's up to you. And really hug your right hip towards the middle line, hugging it towards the middle line. And breathe. Strengthening the whole outer hip complex. And we come down. And we'll shake that out. Just give it a little wiggle. The body loves to move. Because that's how we move. Let's explore the other side. Taking left toes out. I'm shifting the weight onto my left leg now. I'll take my left arm out to the side. It's my counterbalance. Balance is really interesting. It has a lot to do with our gaze, inner ear crystals, and our proprioception. So we can hone each of these. We lift and we lower. How high you lift, that's how high you lift. Remember, the still is nothing called the Yoga Olympics, though some people have tried to create it. It's better to do just the right amount than to overdo. But I know we don't always know what overdoing is until we have trespassed. Now staying with the balance, that may be the toes down. Hug your left hip towards center line. Hug, hug, hug. I call this Ekapada Tadasana because it rolls right off, right? And one-legged mountain pose. We'll release back down again. Standing in mountain pose, weight in the back and the heels, orienting the tailbone down. Breathing in breathing out. How are you feeling? Who came to visit? And I'm going to move my chair to the side so you can get a little bit better view. So tree pose, classic yoga pose. And the kickstand tree is one of my absolute favorite. Very similar to what we just did, but except we're going to now do an external rotation in the hip. So pivot or lifting your left leg and just turn it out. And place the toes down and the heel on the other ankle. So my right leg is the grounding force. And my left leg is externally rotated. So here I'm working again with the gluteus medius and the piriformis. It's a real pain in the, you know what. Notice your standing leg. If it's sagging out to the side, bring it home. Bring it home. And I'll take my right arm out to the side too. I can keep it on the hip. I can take it to the heart. You can explore, where does it feel good? Where does your body like your arm to be today? The right way is the way that feels good for you. And now you decide a place for the arm. Now maybe, this is a big maybe, feel the four corners of your standing leg. And then maybe lift the front of the foot of your bent knee of the left foot. So now you are standing on the right foot. Feel how hard your right glutes are working here. And just say, thank you, glutes. Strengthening the hip complex. And we'll take the foot down and we're back at center. Let's shake that out a little bit. And let's do this on the other side. I'll lift my leg, swing it out, place the toe down, and heel is up on the ankle. And remember, one of my teachers once called this a Marilyn Monroe hip. So we're bringing it in so the mast on your ship is tall and straight. Explore again with the arm. So I did a lazy turn, so I still only have my arm here. And if you did the same thing as me, you may want to keep your arm or your hand on the chair. You can still play with the other arm. It just adds an element of balance. Hug the hip, hug the hip, hug the hip in. Keeping your mass straight, and maybe lift the toes on your right foot. So the left leg, you feel muscles wrapping around bone. This is how we strengthen muscle. When we have stronger muscle, there's more oxygen in our body. Ojas is what's called in yoga. One more breath, and we'll take the toes down, and we back in mountain pose. And we can shake that one out a little bit too. Ojas is vitality. And we get it from how we breathe, what we eat, and the company we keep. So now let's come to stand in front of the chair again. This time I'm taking my legs all the way together. So that eliminates the use for block. I do that because I'm right behind the chair. So I will plop down, but if you feel very unsteady, by all means, take your feet wider apart. Press the knees onward. I'll take the arms up again. And then take the seat back. Press the thighs together and take the seat back. So Utkatasana. And we can stand up again. So we can repeat this several times. That was a little sneaky of me, I know. Press the legs together. And play with how low you sit. So as my tush goes back, my torso goes forward. And I come up again. And we'll let this one be the winner. My arms are up for counterweight. And I sit back, squeeze the legs together, take the hips back, take the hips back. And then when you're ready, we come back into the chair. Now I'll separate my legs out again here, placing my feet down. And then we haven't twisted much. We did a little bit in Baxter. So I invite us to twist before we call it a day. And the back bend. Ooh, almost forgot the back bend. Scoot forward on your chair again. I'll do this one from the side. Hands are besides me. My feet are well planted. So inhale, lift the heart, lift the heart. And then you may want to join us, press my feet down and lift the hips. Lift the hips. And that's a big maybe. And we sit back down again. Let's take a breath in and out. So reverse tabletop pose. It's one of the few poses in yoga where we get the push-pull on the shoulder joint, which is a really valuable movement. Again, hands behind my hips. Inhale, lift the heart. And then press the feet down, step two. And then maybe slide the tush forward to lift the hip. Remember, you can stop anywhere along that line. And we sit back down again. So an opportunity again to lengthen the front spine. And we'll take the hands to the thighs. Follow gentle twists. Inhale, we'll lengthen up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, twisting, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale to center, exhale. Other direction, go back and forth. Very easy. How easy can you make this? Letting go of straining, pushing, forcing. One more time. Finishing on the left side. And we are back at center. One cat and cow to balance the spine out. So let's round first. Rounding and then moving right into the back bend. And then let you turn so you can see me a little bit better. Taking the left hand and placing it in front of the heart center. And take the right palm right in front of it. So my left palm is facing out, my right palm meets the left. And then I'm going to hook the fingers so I am stuck together. The shoulders are down, so feel the shoulder blades down on the back. This is Ganesh Mudra, the overcomer of obstacles, but it also helps strengthen shoulders, heart, and lungs. So as you take a breath in, rise up through the crown of the head, and as you exhale, gently pull on the hands. And then release again on the in-breath. Do that 2 more times. Pull on the hands, they're not going to go anywhere. So Ganesha's elephant. So this signifies the trunk and tail connection of elephants when they walk. Sticking together, because together we are stronger. After the third one, we're going to switch. So now your right hand is towards your heart or closest to your body. And then Ganesh, like I said, the overcome of obstacles. Holding something in your mind's eye or in your heart center, an obstacle that you would like to be moved out of your path. You can hold that as you do this. As we exhale, we pull a little bit, activating the heart center and letting go. And again, slowly pulling, not too much, not too little. Letting go. And one more time. And then releasing down. Shake the shoulders out if they got a little tense. And then we are ready to settle back into the chair. We have practiced. If it feels safe, I invite you to close your eyes. Or keep a soft gaze down towards your body. You may like to have your palms facing down. You may like to turn them up. You can experiment, see if you sense a gentle, energetic shift from when the palms are up versus when they're facing down. One may feel more grounding. One may feel more expanding. Neither is right nor wrong, it just is. And we can access the energy that we need at any given time by understanding how it feels in our body. Breathing in and breathing out. Can you sense that aliveness within? Pulsating, flowing. That's ojas, vitality. Your body is an amazing healing machine, always seeking homeostasis. But it needs help. Setting an intention, a seed that will continue to grow after we conclude the practice. Whatever obstacle that you would like eliminated, or whatever wellness you'd like to invite in. Because lack of wellness is also an obstacle. Believe that you can be well. We'll bring the palms together. So open the eyes and we'll sit up tall. And we will conclude with Om Shanti, 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 Om. The mantra that prays for peace in our world, in our community, and inside, in our heart and mind and bodies. Please join me. We'll take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Thank you. Namaste. And I will go ahead and stop the recording and invite you to unmute, as I cannot do that.